If you are one who wants to have a choice in how taxes are going to be spent in your community, you need to go to stopthemactax.com. That's stopthemactax.com. Top left corner, there'll be a sign the petition here link. Click on that. It will take you to a page that actually gives you the exact verbiage of how we're going to change the charter, with a link at the bottom to click on again to open up and print the petition. Once you sign it, date it, fill it all out, you can mail it in to me at the address of 316 Northeast Johnson, McMinnville, Oregon, 97128. Or you can drop it at my office at AccuPro, Oregon, on the corner of basically 4th and Johnson, across from the Golden Valley Brew Pub. You can also come in there and sign the petition. We are open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, have petition on the front counter. So if you're driving by, pop on in, sign it up.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another issue of Yamhill County Truth Seeker, conversations in the spirit of truth focused on Yamhill County. We welcome back happily City Councilor Chris Chenoweth. Welcome back, Chris, and thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad you're glad. Recently, you got the top fold of the McMinnville News Register, you and George Humley, with a story capitalizing on something that has to do with us getting an opportunity to speak to money that you say was stolen from us, or in so many words. Can you basically describe what you're trying to do with an initiative petition and the need for signatures? And then maybe at the end, after you've told us how to get them, you can tell us what brought us to this point.
What we're calling it is Stop the Mac Property Tax Grab. And to correct a little bit here, it hasn't been taken yet. The last budget committee meeting, it was voted to go ahead and create a budget based on spending 50 cents of the $1.50 that we're trying to prevent our city from spending. And essentially, we're just saying, hey, you were spending this on the fire department. You don't have a department anymore. You shouldn't spend it without getting permission from the voters first.
Right. So $1.50 per thousand of any person's property tax assessed value.
Correct.
Should in your mind come back to them and let the citizens make the choice, not the city council?
Correct. So you're talking $500 probably for the average person per year. And keep in mind, over the last 6 to 8 years, we've had a series of increases in fees and taxes. So we've had the city service fee that was tacked on. That works out to about, give or take, $260 a year, maybe closer to $300 a year. We've had increases in franchise fees across multiple areas.
Hadn't heard about that.
We've had the increases in the pilot. We've had which is the payment in lieu of tax. So when you start adding up and there's been 6 to 8 of them. When you start adding them all up, and I can't get them all right now because I didn't bring that list with me, but it starts adding up tremendously. And none of these did the voters get an opportunity to say yay or nay to. It's time on this particular one. We made a big deal in city council that we were going to make sure the citizens had a voice. In my opinion, that didn't happen. And so the idea here is by putting it on the ballot, the citizens will actually have a voice. If you are one who wants to have a choice in how taxes are going to be spent in your community, you need to go to stopthemactax.com. That's stopthemactax.com. Top left corner, there'll be a sign the petition here link. Click on that. It will take you to a page that actually gives you the exact verbiage of how we're going to change the charter, with a link at the bottom to click on again to open up and print the petition. Once you sign it, date it, fill it all out, you can mail it in to me at the address of 316 Northeast Johnson, McMinnville, Oregon, 97128. or you can drop it at my office at AccuPro Oregon on the corner of basically 4th and Johnson across from the Golden Valley Brew Pub. You can also come in there and sign the petition. We are open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, have petition on the front counter. So if you're driving by, pop on in, sign it up.
Perfect. So now, on the website, will there be two types of petition? One that's just for one person to sign and another that's for several people and someone collects those signatures, or is it just the one?
No, on the website is only the single signer petition, just for an
Okay.
individual. And each person that is going to sign that needs to print that out. So you print it out, sign it, and get it turned into me.
If a person wants to help collect signatures, how do they get the other one?
They can come down to my office. They can also call me at 971-237-1515. And I will make sure that they have them in their hands, because there is nothing better than a person going to their friends and family to gather these signatures. You can get 20 or 30 at a whack, and it's amazing how fast we can hit the total that we need to get. Our target is 4,000 signatures in 2 months. I believe we can do it. I believe the
Okay.
citizens want a voice.
Absolutely. No, it's possible. If just a couple of us go around the block, right? Who wouldn't want to have a voice? This is not a vote. People often maybe mistake when they're signing something that they're approving something. In this case, that's not true. They are just giving the citizens an opportunity to vote. And this will then, if you make the deadline, and let's just say when you make the deadline, end of June or whenever it is, then it'll appear on the November ballot. So we really won't have a statement until then.
Correct. And I'm
Right.
targeting the November ballot, but in reality, I have a 2-year window. But I don't want to wait.
Oh, wow.
I want to get this on the ballot right away. I think that, this is a unique opportunity. It's not often that we get such direct opportunity to tell our elected officials how we want them to spend the money. Here's an opportunity to really do that.
And then just for a little technical background, it will eventually go up per year if it's approved at 3%, which is basically kind of an inflation beater. And eventually all of that $1.50 will be used up, or is that the way that works out?
Well, the way for the technical people, the way this works is your city has a maximum tax authority that they can levy every year. And every year, the budget committee determines how much of that tax authority they're actually going to levy. So for the city of McMinnville, we have a max amount of $5.02 of assessed value that we can ever assess. It will never be higher than that. This ballot measure would cap it at 352 plus 3% until it hit that 502. But yes, it's a fixed amount. The city doesn't always have to assess it, and in fact, historically, the city has not always assessed it. Last year, we only assessed the 352. This year, we're talking about assessing 402. So it just depends on what your budget committee decides to do. Which is a plug to pay attention for when the budget committee openings are available, and register, and you can fill out and become part of that committee.
Well, I applied, I got rejected, but it doesn't mean I won't try again.
What I'd like to add is on that website is there's 2 other calls to actions on that website. One is to donate, because we're going to need money to help advertise, because while we want to give citizens a voice, it is my personal opinion we shouldn't be spending this money. So we are going to be pushing a vote yes once it's on the ballot. So raising funds for that is available on the website. Another call to action is volunteer. There's a volunteer button you can click on and get your information to us to help volunteer. We're going to have booths set up. We'll be at Albertsons this weekend. We're going to be down in front of the Jiu-Jitsu building at times. We're hopefully going to be down in the plaza, down in downtown McMinnville. We plan to be at the farmer's market every time the farmer's market is open. So our goal is to be available, but we need volunteers to be available. So please, if this is something you hear and you think, yes, I want to do this, get to my website, volunteer immediately so we can get you to work getting signatures gathered.
Well, good job. I appreciate you looking out for us because, as you mentioned already, it's easy to have various taxes just stack up on you, and we're already being affected by pretty substantial inflation. We don't need that much more taken from our spending power, which In my opinion, that's what makes our economy grow. The more you tax us, the less our economy grows. So this is a good thing.
Yes. Thank you for putting it very well. Make sure this weekend, if you don't have plans already, to go to your house of worship. There's nothing better for community and strength in our community than to make a priority of going to your house of worship, whatever that may be.
That's good. Thank you, Chris, for everything you do. And God bless you, your family, and your work and your effort on the city council. And we'll see you next time.
Same to you. Thank you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, of liberty and justice for all.